And so I'm doing another video on loot boxes, and I talked to someone before about loot boxes, and he was in support of them because they were free, of course. And my point to make on that was that they only make them free, so you get addicted, and you're more likely to spend on them because you're addicted. And another point he brought up was, because they are free, they feel rewarding, much like a looter shooter, which of course he didn't say his exact words. Much like a looter shooter, you kill something, you get a reward. It might be a legendary RNG drop, but my point is that that wouldn't be rewarding. I mean, yeah, it feels good to kill the boss and get the reward, but it's still RNG. And at the end of the day, if you don't know what RNG is, by the way, it's random numerical generation. So that means that one of however many selected items will drop there, or things, whatever it is. It might always be an item, and it's just luck. You feel good for beating the boss, yes, that's where the reward is, but it feels like it's hidden behind this object. But the object itself, you're just lucky to get at the end of the day. It's nothing to do with the reward. And loot boxes definitely don't give that reward, that sense of an achievement. They completely take it away, in fact. And the goal of this video is to make sure that they are regulated. The loot boxes, much like many of other people's videos, isn't just about censorship or anything like that, or to actually get rid of loot boxes, because that's an unrealistic goal altogether. It's because we want publishers to actually be liable to be responsible for making the transaction possible, which they currently aren't, because they aren't considered gambling right now in the current state for some reason. Kids, and my point back was that it's not just the rich kids point. It's actually the problem is actually and it doesn't matter if you've got mental problems or you're stupid. It's the lucrative system and addictive nature of these loot boxes and their unsupervised implementation and deceptive nature. You could be perfectly normal and functional, a fully grown adult, and you can still succumb to gambling and loot boxes. It's just not anything to do with that. Is greedy developers. And like I said, there's other ways you can make money. You don't have to do it by this deceptive bullshit. There's a thing that exists out there that's called DLC, which if you don't know, you should know by now, is downloadable content. DLC is different than microtransactions because they actually add new assets to the games and new content. And people are perfectly willing to buy that. The huge difference between DLC and microtransactions, well, at least this microtransaction loot box is the one that makes a huge difference that annoys me, is the fact that with DLC, you're looking at something, you're like, oh, that's something I want. Here's my money, and I'll buy it. With fucking loot boxes, you're not paying for a specific item. You're paying in the hopes to get that item, which you may not always get. Which, as Tomic has stated, the definition of gambling by dictionary means is for another thing of value. But in the court of law, in the law perspective, it's whether or not you've got something to lose, which seems absolutely absurd, but it's the whole reason they're getting away with it right now. It's absurd and I hate it, but it's just how it is. Now, I want to say as well, with microtransactions, there are some that I don't mind. For instance, if you guys have heard of the game This War of Mine, there's a War Child charity that they did, which the whole game of This War of Mine is built around the idea of this charity and support of this charity. And this microtransaction is straight up a donation for the charity. They say 100% of the proceeds go straight there, but it's only of this producer's proceeds, because everything put on the Steam marketplace, 30% goes to Valve. So just keep that in mind. But I actually quite like that idea, because for once with microtransactions, they're not saying, I want this money, please give me money. It's actually like, no, we actually care about the integrity of our game. We actually have further concerns. It's not always just about making money. Our businesses we're actually pushing for a goal and objective here with our game. And here's a way you can actually support the game rather than just maybe be emotionally affected by it. So I really admire them for that one. And like, it's probably the only microtransaction that I actually do like. But and another point that he made is that like DLCs would probably split the community. And I was like, well, we've had DLCs out there for ages for games like this. Like Call of Duty, COD, for instance, has always had. I don't know why they've gone down the loot box angle as well. Fucking Activision, you know them. They've been making map packs for years, and people have been perfectly happy to spend money on their bloody map packs and get further content to support their already games. If you want to go back for years and support it, there's your method, you know. And, uh, and another point that I made is just a milestone in addiction where like um when you get addicted to something, because you can get addicted to anything, as I said. When you get addicted to something, there's a certain point where even if you're getting it as free, you might get addicted, and you reach a certain milestone where money doesn't matter in comparison to your addiction. And once you hit that milestone, because let's say someone takes your kid for hostage, you're going to be more concerned about your kid than the money that they're asking for, of course. Even though that's an absurd example. Um, there is that milestone, and once you hit that milestone, you're willing to spend as much money, like however much money you need to spend. Like you look at a loot box and say, "Oh, it's only $15. I can spend that," and then a couple more later, because if you get the time, you forget how much you're spending. You're on a fast track to ruining your life. You know. So if you have a different opinion in loot boxes or whatever. Oh, and another thing that I wanted to bring up is with loot boxes. They say that they're. Oh, gosh. I'll just read that bit now, 'cause I've already talked about it. Alright, so if you guys have a difference in opinion, you think I'm wrong about something or whatever, leave a comment in the description. Um, provide any research that you can if you want. Um, I'm willing to look at those. I'm happy to check them out. Um, if you disagree with me, you're fine to leave a dislike. I don't really mind. I just wanted to talk about this because I'm really quite passionate about gaming and everything to do with it, even though it's a controversial topic. I know I never really wanted to talk about those because it will probably split the community. um, so yeah, but it is one that I am passionate enough that I was just like, I'll talk about it anyway, you know. So yeah.